All right, so thank you so much for joining us, Reagan. Um, I'll just give a little introduction. So, everyone, this is Reagan Bragg, and she is a professional currently at Alliance Bernstein. So, thank you so much, Reagan, for being with us today. We really do appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and just let you tell everyone just a little bit about you and who you are, and give us a little insight to what it's like being Reagan.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Hunter, for having me today. Really love any opportunity to speak to UT students. My name is Reagan Bragg. I am a campus recruiter at Alliance Bernstein. I am located in Nashville, Tennessee, and working out of their downtown Nashville location. Currently, I am aligned to recruit for our technology and operations roles. So that includes internships as well as full-time positions. I'm also doing a little work in our client group, which is our retail, sales, and institutional side of things, as well as doing some in portfolio management. So that's a little about me. I've been at the firm now for 2 years, celebrated my anniversary last week. So time flies when you just have so much fun doing something you love. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. Well, cool. And happy anniversary. That's very exciting. Um, if you could just tell us a little bit about Alliance Bernstein. So, what does your company do? Where are your primary locations? Just any kind of background and insight.
Absolutely. So Alliance Bernstein is a global asset management firm. A lot of times students say, what is asset management? And I will tell you myself, I am new to the industry as of the 2 years as well. So not always worked in this. So you do not have to have a background in finance to be a part of Alliance Bernstein. But we are recently new to Nashville. So we are a Wall Street firm, been in service for over 50 years. So we made the transition about 2 years ago in summer of 2018 to move to downtown Nashville. And that is where we are calling home headquarters. So we're super excited to be in Tennessee and to recruit our local students who are around in universities, particularly at UT. And so, yeah, that is AB. We also do have a research side to us as well, which is still staying in New York. So we have Alliance Bernstein, which is our asset management kind of investment branch. And then we have our Bernstein brokerage, which is our sell side and does all of our research, which holds our global analyst. And that piece will actually stay in in New York. In regards to our locations, we are located in over 51 cities, 22 countries. So we are all over the place. With more of our technology and operational roles, we really do work majority out of Nashville, as well as we do have opportunities in our San Antonio, Texas location, and then in New York as well. So those are our really three prime locations for our employees, just with our corporate and then some of our investments as well.
Awesome. So, what kind of jobs and internship opportunities do you have currently, and how would students go about like applying for those? Um, what kind of is the process for going through and getting on with Alliance Bernstein?
Yes, so our applications are live. They were live as of the end of August. Yes, it's so exciting. I can't believe we are here again, recruiting season. It just happens so fast, and it's very short and it's fast and it's great. But here we are. So yes, we are recruiting for all different types of roles. I won't just talk about mine in particular, but we do have technology and operations, like I mentioned before, which is what I mainly recruit for. That involves our investment operations role, which is kind of more business oriented with a back office feel. We do have our business analysis, which does have a technical piece to it, our infrastructure engineering, and then our software development. Those are for internships and full-time positions, and they're just strictly located in Nashville. We do have client group, which is kind of hard to know what that means, but it's our retail sales, it's our product development, our marketing. That is also for interns and full-time in Nashville. We do have portfolio implementation, which again is a little bit more operational. You are helping with some client portfolios, but still is behind the scenes. This is also offered as an internship and full-time located in Nashville. And in regards to our New York positions, these are still available to anybody. So we do our sell side there, which is our sales, trading, and research. So we do have opportunities in those, as well as some of our research opportunities, and then private wealth, which is also in New York, and then regionally. So we do hire interns and associates or full-time employees in our DC, LA, San Francisco, and then Chicago office.
Awesome. So lots of opportunities, which is always good to hear.
Yes.
It's super exciting, and it sounds like there's such a range, which I think is just awesome.
Yeah. There's something for everybody. And I forgot
Literally.
to mention too, literally. And I forgot to mention, we are on Handshake, so you can find all of our jobs there, as well as LinkedIn. We have a huge presence on LinkedIn, so all of our campus jobs are located on our website, as well as our LinkedIn. So if you go to our campus careers at alliancebernstein.com, you will see the straight listing of all of those, and you can sort them too by country and state. So
Wonderful.
yeah.
No, I definitely tell students, I'm like, this is a great company to work for because there's just so many opportunities that you can go and explore. And I think it's especially great for students who possibly are even a little bit unsure,
Yeah.
just to really like explore. I mean, there's just so much that your company offers, which is wonderful. I know you had mentioned like right now is obviously kind of recruitment season,
Mhm.
all of that. But are there any like potential future opportunities that you anticipate needing to fill, or maybe a time frame and when you guys will maybe start recruiting heavily again, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so our heavy recruiting season is typically middle of August to middle of November. So that's really where we do majority of our hiring for the next summer opportunity. So we still do have a rolling recruiting basis as we get into the spring, but typically we make majority of our roles, or we fill majority of our roles by the time the year is over, which is nuts.
Yeah.
A very accelerated process to think about hiring so early for roles that roll into the next year. But yeah, we do a lot of just heavy recruiting throughout the 3 months time period, and then whatever kind of we have left to fill, we'll fill in the spring.
Awesome. That sounds great. So, um, what kind of experiences make candidates a good fit? Like, is there anything on a resume that might make a candidate stand out to you? Like, what do you look for whenever you are deciding, for these internship and full-time positions?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say, first and foremost, there are some firms who do look at GPA requirements for their campus leadership roles. That is one of our requirements that we do look at Alliance Bernstein. So when we're looking at a resume, we do prefer the cumulative GPA to be listed on there. It's just one of our qualifications that we have. Also, too, a bigger push that we are kind of wanting, and as I'm seeing from other alike recruiters, is just having your LinkedIn visible on your resume. So as we are getting more into this tech oriented, you know, atmosphere here with everything we're doing, it's just really important that you do have a presence on LinkedIn, and that you're putting that on your resume. I will say, and I've told students who I've helped as well with building out their resumes, is if we look at your resume, we want to know a little bit more, or maybe kind of filling in some puzzle pieces, we go to your LinkedIn and check out from there. So two prime locations for you to kind of sell yourself, show your accomplishments and skills and things of that nature. So important as well. I would also say kind of what stands out to me, and I know that, during this kind of unprecedented time, some students were left without opportunities for internships and for full-time roles. And we as recruiters, and I will speak on behalf of my team and alike recruiters from around similar companies, we obviously know that there is grace. And as we're looking for people who have missed out on those opportunities or didn't get those particular chances to have an internship or even a full-time role. So we're looking to resumes a little differently this go around. And I think that's important to note about it not being so experience heavy this go around, because I know that students are very insecure sometimes about what's on their resume or what they've done or what they couldn't do, thinking that may hurt their chances of future opportunities. I'm here to calm your fears. We definitely are looking to this in a different way. So having good leadership opportunities listed, clubs, projects, volunteer work, maybe even like athletic events, if you're an athlete, I mean, all of those really allude to the person that you are, what you do in your spare time, and just the different things that you participate in. So that shows us a lot about you as well, even with maybe without the experience.
Absolutely. Well, I think we're all in a unique situation just in general. And I think even what we envisioned our careers being ourselves is just completely different. I mean, I know with you being, in recruitment, it's like I'm sure you were probably used to traveling a whole bunch, for everything, and everything just looks so different. And just using a new lens, I think is just really important. And
Yeah,
students, you hear it here. I mean, it is, a whole different world. It's a whole different time. And don't be fearful. It's definitely your time to talk through and shine in other ways because we
right.
all have skills and abilities. And don't let it be scary that you didn't get to complete something. Um, People understand. So, as you can see, Reagan can verify she understands. So, I think it's important to that kind of leads into our next little bit about you guys being completely understanding and empathetic and sympathetic to the situation. But I think just talk a little bit about your company culture and, why do you like working for Alliance Bernstein? Like, why do you stay? Why do you enjoy it? So I think, you kind of touched on that a little bit with how, your company's even approaching applications, but I would love to hear more.
Absolutely. So I love to talk about this piece of the firm because I think it is just so phenomenal the way that they really are putting employees first. And not only that, but really tapping into our wellness and our health during this time, which is honestly something that I'm not used to coming from a firm. And honestly, you don't know you need it until you experience a firm and a company that has it. And you're like, wow, this is awesome. Like that you really honestly put your people first. And a lot of times, I know if you ever ask anyone at Alliance Bernstein, why do you stay? They're like, the people. And you're like, okay, come on, but for real. You're like, no, the people. And honestly, I get it. Like, I completely understand. And it's because our senior leaders, our operating committee, the people that lead this firm are committed to the people. And it shows through everything that we do. And I'll just kind of touch on a couple of things that make us who we are and make us unique. But when I talk to students, and honestly, I'll date myself a little bit, but I graduated college about 5 years ago. And, when I was in this space, I was like, okay, this is what I want out of a firm. I want work life balance, I want career opportunity growth, and I want flexibility. And honestly, looking 5 years into the future, I don't really think that that's changed for students that much. When I talk to them, I'm like, what do you want out of a firm? And it's like diversity and inclusion and, all of these great things. And I can say that AB hits all of those. We operate on an open door policy, which is, again, something I've never experienced. If you've ever visited a WeWork space or have ever been to Alliance Bernstein before, we have an open floor plan. So everyone is sitting in the same floor without walls or doors. Yes, it's a very unique experience. And I will admit I was very apprehensive to it at first because I was used to being behind a closed door. I was used to being behind a cubicle. But when you really kind of open your mind up to the opportunities there, it really shows you the inclusiveness to why we do it this way. Um, you're getting to meet people that you wouldn't normally meet. You have a direct access to senior leaders. I mean, I sit across, well, before COVID, when I was in the office, I was sitting across from our senior vice president of human capital, chatting with her, like drinking coffee with her. I mean, subtle, and just those experiences that just really make the culture, especially when you know that you can walk over to someone without fear of having to schedule time with them or meet with them behind a closed door, or you walk over and their door's always closed, or whatever it is. And so I just think that that is a unique space to Alliance Bernstein that gives people opportunities to channel different opportunities within the firm, even if it's different roles, or to meet different people. And then speaking a little to our work life work-life balance, we do have employee resource groups and we have wellness groups. And these are very unique to AB in the sense that they're all employee-led groups, and they give you a way to even support people that you wouldn't normally maybe associate with, or to meet and connect with others throughout the firm. And just because maybe you don't associate or you don't maybe have the same background as someone doesn't mean you can't join the group or associate with the group. So when we kind of think about employee resource groups, they are, for example, we have an AB Out, which is our LGBTQ plus group, which does a lot in our community right now. We did a virtual Pride Parade, which was absolutely out of this world. So, different events that the group can put on. We have a Synergy group, which is actually our women-led group. They do all kinds of things like sipping wine to having charcuterie board at work. I mean, different ways that, and like women Wednesdays, or what is it? Women. Anyways, we do different things like that where we highlight women in the business. And, there's just so many different opportunities like that to get connected. And then lastly, I know I'm talking a lot, but with our wellness groups, we have, AB is in a great job at having and making sure, again, like I mentioned, that we have good physical and mental health going into this unprecedented time, and even the criminal justice issues that we're experiencing right now. And there's a lot that's happened, let's be honest, with what's going on in our world. And so making sure that we keep our minds and mental health first is priority to them. They have allowed us to have different free therapy type of apps that they've allowed us to have, just so that we can maybe meditate or have those opportunities to kind of reel out our emotions. They gave us a water app to make sure that we're drinking our water throughout the day. And I mean, we have different kind of like yoga opportunities we can do, just different ways that people can relieve stress. AB really taps into and make sure that our employees are taken care of. And so I just think that's phenomenal. I actually I use the Waterminder app, and then I also use the Calming app, which helps you kind of just rest and relax before a full day at work. And then lastly, our career growth opportunities. So if you join campus or a campus opportunity with us, whether you're an intern or you're coming to us full time after you graduate, I do want to elaborate on the fact that if you're an intern with us, you do a great job, you want to come back, we have a direct pipeline opportunity into our full-time program. And that is definitely unique from a lot of other firms. So you don't have to re-interview. There's no competition. There is, when we hire you as an intern, we also have a direct spot for you. And so that is so awesome, especially since, maybe full-time positions are not what they used to be right now, or there's not many out there because of all the jobs that have gone away because of different things. And so I just wanted to point that out, as well as making sure that everyone understands our internal kind of mobility opportunities. So when you come into the firm as an emerging early career talented professional, we do give you opportunities to see the firm in different views. So if you, for example, get into a technology spot and you're like, like investment equity sounds awesome, let's explore. So they allow you to be able to explore a different opportunity. And if it's something that you want to learn more about, or, you've built the skills and the abilities to do it, they will allow you to kind of slot yourself in that role. So, I mean, honestly, I can't say enough good things about the morale of the firm and kind of what we have going on right now. I could go on more, but I feel like I've talked a lot. But one more thing I want to say, we do have a AB Gives Back, which is our volunteer community work and projects that we have. And the reason why I want to say and talk about that really quickly is because in Nashville, I don't know, I'm sure a lot of you heard, with the disaster of the tornadoes in our downtown Nashville location, and then COVID kind of being like right behind that. It's like bam, 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 bam with everything going on. And Alliance Bernstein got together within the community with our AB Gives Back group, and we're able to be involved in tornado relief around the community. And so that was something that really helped us, just really give back and to kind of help out in that area. Alliance Bernstein gives 16 hours to each employee. So you don't have to use your PTO to go out in the community and do good work, whether it's at a homeless shelter, whether it's at the Humane Society, tornado relief, whatever it is. They do give you those free hours. So it's awesome.
It is. That's great. No, I'm glad that you talked a lot because all of this is really
Yeah.
insightful and beneficial. And I think, as students are starting to figure out what their next steps are and what pathways
Mhm.
they're going through, these are things they need to take into consideration.
Yeah.
And I don't think that sometimes these are always things that students ask, because they don't think to ask about it. But it's great to hear those opportunities and what you guys
Yeah.
are doing. And as you said, I think that that really just speaks to the culture that you're trying to express. So I think that that's great. So thank you. That was so good. That was so much info.
Yes, it was. I'm sorry, that was a lot.
It's fine. I definitely think it was great. It was great to know. I'm so jealous. I think I need like a water app or something. I need somebody to like smack me in the face to drink more. I think like
It's called Water Minder if you're interested.
good to know. Well, and it's like I used to drink so much water all the time,
Yeah.
and then now it's like I'm working from home a lot more, so there's like a million other distractions than drinking water. So,
I'm trying not to drink like another cup of coffee, so
um, yeah, same
yeah,
to you. The struggle.
it is. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
So, as you kind of touched on, just with COVID
Mhm.
and all the disasters that keep happening and everything's just, I mean, we haven't received a break yet. 2020's
Mhm.
not been kind to anyone. I definitely think it has been quite the year. Pretty unconventional, but I definitely want to
No
kind of
kidding.
talk a little bit about what's going on right now and how Alliance Bernstein is approaching things as far as like COVID goes, and what is the process? Is that delayed? What hiring looks like? Is
Mhm.
there any advice you could give to students who are in the process of looking for positions? What
Yeah.
kind of things do you think?
Absolutely. And it's funny you ask because we just had a town hall meeting this morning and we talked all things COVID. Because look, that is the hot topic. That's what everyone's talking about. Everyone at the beginning of things were just very insecure about their jobs. Am I going to lose my job? Am I going to get laid off? Like what was going to happen? Like how is the end of year going to look? Like there's just so many questions. When am I going to return to the office? Are we even going back to the office? In our case, we are because we have a beautiful brand new building. But it's on everyone's mind, and so our CEO was able to kind of give us some pointers and some tips and facts about what's going on, which is another great thing AV does. We do it at least like every 3 months. They can get all the employees together, and we just have a big town hall about just everything that's happening. Um, and so I will say at the beginning of everything in March and April, we did go on a freeze. And that was for our professional jobs. So those direct hire jobs. And at that point, our campus jobs were in jeopardy. I mean, we didn't really know what to do. We didn't know what was going to happen. Things were just very up in the air. And honestly, I am so impressed by the way Alliance Bernstein reacted to everything because in reality, we could have just said, forget it, and canceled all our internships and our full time positions and said, we're just too overwhelmed. We have too much going on. But the dedication that our firm has to emerging early talent is incredible. I mean, they, the managers and just all our leadership, just really 100% we're all in with this. And we kept our internships and we made it happen, and we made it happen virtually. And yes, it was tough. Yes, it's unconventional, but it happened. Kids still learned. Students were able to be trained, and great things still happened. Projects were still completed, and honestly, our CTO still talks about all the interns. He's like, they were incredible. And they still were able to make an impact on our firm, even within the decreased time. So it went from 10 weeks to 6 weeks. And, it honestly, it was a great experience. And yes, we didn't know what was going to happen. Were interns going to hate this? Was it going to be an awful experience? Was it going to hurt our culture? There were so many questions about, do we keep this or do we not? And what's the best way? So you kind of just have to make that decision and just run with it and make it the best you can. And I think honestly, it turned out so well, and we're so excited with how this all worked out. And being one of the firms that didn't give up on those internships and that early talent really put us in another type of highlight of, okay, like they really are dedicated to these things, and we really are, and we're dedicated to that, to the early talent. And so, here we are, we're still moving forward with recruiting virtually and learning how to use technology with Handshake and all these different things. And we're just going to roll with it and take day by day. And so as far as return to office, Alliance Bernstein has taken a very, very cautious approach to our employees returning to work. And at first I was like, I want to be back with people. And, I'm a people person, and I don't thrive that well just being at home by myself. So I like interaction, but we are not planned to go back until the beginning of next year. And that's just based on our open policy, our open floor policy, and just the health and safety of our employees. And so, yeah, we're still visiting kind of when our return to office will be, hopefully by next summer. But yeah, I mean, honestly, we're kind of just making the rules as we go to be completely fair, but we're making it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. I think you also brought up a great point of, continuing those opportunities, even though they may look different this year, still maintaining them and still having them. I mean, that's wonderful that you guys are still able to do that and continue that. I think the biggest thing right now is everybody's kind of learning as we're going, and
Right.
nothing's for certain. I mean, honestly. So definitely great to hear. What kind of advice might you have for students who's going through this process? Because I think a lot of students are kind of panicking in comparing these to like 2007, 2008, like the recession.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of them are just like very anxiety ridden. So
Mhm.
what kind of advice would you give them?
Yeah. So I honestly don't give up on recruiting. Don't give up on it. Already I've seen a decrease in applications. And I understand. I honestly, I try to put myself in student shoes and try to explore what this would feel like, how it would be to be a senior or to be a junior, and be going through a global pandemic. Like, just don't know. And, you try to put yourself in that place, and how you're managing not only being able to not be socially interactive all the time with your peers, but to be working from a computer, doing your schoolwork from home. That's tough. I mean, that is so stinking tough. And complete and utter respect to all the students who are making it happen each and every day to get through school, to not give up, and to keep moving. So utter respect for everyone that is having to explore these crazy times. I know it's hard for me to recruit. I know it's even harder for you to be a student. And so don't give up on recruiting. Keep applying, keep chasing your dreams, keep looking for those opportunities. We're still recruiting. Firms are still filling roles. So do not give up on the process. And, I think that would have to be my best advice, is to just keep pushing forward, and just not to give up.
Good. And then kind of a funner question. So, why do you like hiring at UT? Why do you like our balls out of everyone?
Absolutely. I love UT. Okay, so I may not be a Tennessee fan, but that's okay. I love just the school, what they stand for. A lot of the students really align with a lot of the skill sets that we look for at Alliance Bernstein, particularly in our engineering and just the more of the business areas. A lot of good people who are interested in finance. Being the kind of second asset management firm in Nashville, exploring the market at that time was really hard to find, people who were interested in the industry. But UT has always kind of, been able to step up and to just be a good student body, and good skill set for Alliance Bernstein. Always had good events and opportunities with both of the schools, with Haslam and with the Tickle College of Engineering. So we do a lot with both. And, UT continues to be one of our tier 1 partnership schools. And we hope that it stays that way in the future.
Yay. Yeah, we love having you guys. You're fantastic, and it's been a great 2 years of a partnership. I definitely,
We've come a long way.
Yeah, we've come a long way.
I will say, when the first opportunity we went to was Get the Scoop. I don't know if any student remembers that, but it was at the in front of the engineering, and people were walking up to me and my colleague, and they're like, "What's A over B?" We're like, "Oh my gosh, we have so far to go." But honestly, like, we've come so far. I mean, people are, students know who we are now, and can actually say, "Oh yeah, you're an asset management firm," and it's just like, wow, we really have come so far.
Yes. No, I definitely can remember because my first year here was in 2018, and we had just you guys were one of the first employers that I had met with, and I remember being like, oh God, like this is super intimidating. But of course, you guys came in and you were like, hey, what's up, and ready to mix and mingle. And
yeah,
I was actually there at Get the Scoop with you guys, and I mean,
okay.
Yeah, it was, one of those things where it takes a little bit of time once, new employers come. And I think, especially ones that aren't based in the Southeast, it's just,
right.
I think it's just like, oh, who is
we had that double whammy, like New
Nope.
York asset management firm, like what, yeah. So,
Nope. But it's definitely great having you guys. I know a lot of students now are like, you guys are what their eyes are set on. So it's definitely great having you here. And I always open up the floor. So I know I've asked you a ton of questions, but you can feel free to always expand, or if there's any additional things that you would just want students to know or be aware of when it comes to AV, and what you guys offer, what makes you different or unique. I'm definitely giving you the baton now just to kind of give you any final things you'd like to say.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am so appreciative of this opportunity. It's a good way for us to get our name out there and continue to brand ourselves and make our reputation on campus with students, because, again, we do believe in the talent at UT. And, I will say this is really our first recruiting cycle with UT, and we have 5 full-time associates with us. So that's so cool and exciting, as we're building our alumni pipeline at AB. I mean, that's super cool. So yeah, I mean, I think, other than that, I am, we are at UT, we are doing, we're participating in the career fairs in a couple of weeks. So both of them, so the business internship one, as well as the engineering one. So you can catch us there. And then, and you'll be able to speak to a lot more of the associates that are in those programs. If there's specific kind of related program questions, I can only speak to HR and so many other questions, but they'll be there if you're interested. And then we're also participating in virtual campus interviews. So not OCIs this go around, but those will be in late October. So make sure that you are jumping into Handshake and signing up if there's something you're interested in. Other than that, our applications are live and we are full steam ahead recruiting. So
crazy. I can't even believe that we're wrapping up the end of September.
I know. Crazy. Well, like 3 months to Christmas. Like what? That's nuts. Yeah. So wow.
I can't even. I feel like my mind's completely gone. So I was I was pregnant all of last year, came back to work at the end of December, and then went back home in March. So my year is gone.
I mean, yeah, it's so crazy. I mean, I've been at home since March, and we've just been flexible and made it work. And it is what it is, So, yeah.
So, all right, I'm gonna see. I don't see any questions in the Facebook chat, but I do see we have Parker with us. So, Parker, do you have any questions or just anything you would like to add or share?
Sure. Yeah, I actually have 2 questions. The first one's pretty straightforward. You said you have applications on Handshake, LinkedIn, through the company website. Is there a best site to go for in that situation? Or I feel like the Alliance Bernstein website at the end of the day may be the safest bet just for I don't know, best practice, if you will?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So we do ask all students to make sure that they are applying through our Alliance Bernstein website. And that's just because, you go directly into our portal and we get your information and have all the things in there. So, I mean, I think, really with Handshake and LinkedIn, it's a way to just kind of glance at our job descriptions and then kind of move over to our website and apply that way. But great question.
Mhm.
Perfect. Then the second one, I know you said that you recruit for technology and operations. I was kind of interested in private client portfolio management, that group.
Yeah.
Do you have any information on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am assisting with recruiting for that this season. So our portfolio implementation group is a channel off of our technology and operations department. It does kind of stand on its own, but it's still kind of channeled into that particular department itself. It is operational, but it also pipelines into portfolio management positions, associate portfolio management positions. So it's more of a pipeline into that type of career opportunity path. So if that's something that you're interested, that would be a great role for you. And then too, it is still, I mean, you still are partaking in some client interaction, but mainly it is a lot of kind of behind the scenes working directly to make sure that our clients, have maybe if you see risk in the client portfolio or, making those good decisions for that. That's mainly kind of what the role surrounds.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. I also see where Walker Hale just joined as well. And he just says, "Hey, Reagan, it's Walker. Sorry I'm a little late. He's been busy with some schoolwork." And then he just asked if there was anything major that he had missed. And then I told him to feel free to, ask specific questions if there was ones that he had as well, just to make sure that they get answered. So yeah, I'll wait and see what Walker has to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, me and Walker have had some email exchanges, so we've definitely been in touch with each other. Hopefully, we can find him a good spot at Alliance Bernstein. But glad he was able to join today.
No, I knew lots of students, and it's actually kind of a crazy week. So I found out too, a lot of students have exams this week, which
Yeah,
I was not prepared for. But then again, it makes sense because their schedules change, like the semester's ending sooner. So like
yeah, it's so weird, so
it
crazy.
makes
Yeah,
sense, but in my head, I was not putting this week with that. So it makes sense why.
yeah,
But I know a lot of students were like, "Oh my gosh, like Alliance Bernstein's going to be here, and I don't know if I'm going to make it." So
yeah. No worries. I'll be able to, have anybody reach out to me or join me on LinkedIn or just a direct email for more information. So I'm definitely open to that.
awesome. Well, I don't see Walker saying anything. So, yeah, I think that's really the main bits for today. So I
Yeah.
really appreciate you being here, Reagan, and speaking. I think, again, just as you mentioned, it really is, such a great partnership between the two of us, and we really do appreciate having you and just letting students know more about this company and all the great, awesome things that they're doing, because, it is making a difference. And I think, you providing your insight on, your practices and the fact that you guys are hiring and all those things, I think it does really, relieve a lot of that anxiety and that nervousness that is just
Mhm.
existing right now for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So it is really great to hear from you. And I know, as you said, you guys are going to be at the career fair, and I'm sure you'll be involved in other ways at UT. I just know you guys. So I truly
Yep.
appreciate it and appreciate being here. And I'll be sure to send any students your way if they have questions. But otherwise, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hunter. I appreciate it. This was a great opportunity. Always open and available to speak to students. So again, I appreciate it. And thanks for having me on.
Of course, of course. Well, have the best of day.
You as well. Thank you so much. Talk later.
Bye.
Bye.